Ubuntu ngumuntu ngambantu is Zulu for I am because you are. And today I'm here because before I was, there was a community which was there. And is the main reason I'm here to share a story and share a part of me which I believe in one or two ways will help, one or two will end up being inspired. And so my journey begins not at the age of 21, not at the age of 18, but at the age of 16. So it's at this age where, I shook walls and many of them fell and some fell on me, right? But today I'm here to share a flare of hope that, as we're sitting in this room full of energy and full of vibrant youth, that we may shake down more of those walls and instead replace them with wooden fences in which we can safely and efficiently navigate through. And so at the age of 16, I was at Maseno School, which is one of the national schools in Nairobi, Kenya. Not Nairobi, but Maseno, Kenya. That's along the west. So I used to be this student who used to walk around school with a blue notebook, trying to note down different problems, and obviously in a gray short. So by virtue of being in a gray short, that signified that you were a junior member of the school society. So it's only the seniors who are allowed to wear trousers. And it's on this trajectory that I used to be this person who used to just write down, for example, any problem that I would see around school. I used to, write it down, and on a Friday, I would come and brainstorm these solutions with my friends. But then there was this situation that at that age in time, that was around 2013, and mind you, this was a public school. So being seen with a laptop was almost synonymous with being a hard knock. In Swahili, we say kichwa ngumu. It was synonymous with being a hard knock, mainly because it's synonymous with all these online vices. But I still went on, and I still was this hard knock in the eyes of the teachers, in the eyes of my teachers. But we went on. And so I was treading on a shoestring, but then continued to go and look for more trouble. So I'd say blessed with all the inquisitiveness that we had a rift between my school and my neighboring community. So Maseno School, let me just give you some context. So Maseno School is located in an area where there is a very big forest cover. For example, probably a good example would be where their center is based at. And so we used to share a space with the community. And so there was a space between, there was a rift because of the sewer waste. So the sewer waste from the school would find its way into a nearby stream, which was the domestic source of water to this local community. But as we know, nobody wants feces in their water. And so what we did is we went and tried to solve for this problem using trash, your human waste, and get gold, which is biogas. And so by doing this, we designed a human waste bioreactor that would not only use human waste, but also use any form of organic waste, like cow dung in the school farm, food scrap. As you might know, in any high school, in any institution this is a good example. There's a lot of food which goes to waste after we eat. So we took that waste and then fed it into a digester, which gave us very clean biogas. But then it's needless to mention that our very first bioreactor exploded. And so I, kichwa ngumu, had to convince the school with two things: that us as 16-year-olds knew what we were doing, and second of all, work out what would be a working prototype for our school. And so we were fortunate enough to mobilize enough resources that we built a digester, which currently powers the school system. But then, we were fortunate while we graduated from school, that's at the age of 18, and set out to now build Green Pact, which is now a realization, to us was a realization that, this isn't just a problem that's between my school and my local community. This is a problem that faces 9 million Kenyan households, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, who can't afford renewable energy and sanitation. So there was a clear need, and this is where we ventured to, and this is the risk that we took, and a problem that we, as 18-year-olds, chose to tackle. But then we might have been having all, local and international media coverage, but there is one thing that they didn't ask: the journey and the hurdles, which I'd say is still the main reason which I am here, and also guide you through that journey. So, building a company and leading a company, nobody gave me the heads up that you would spend hundreds of hours, sleepless nights, not to mention hundreds of emails, phone calls, which most of the go and had, you only get maybe a handful back. But then it's in the one person who I admire, Mr. Strive Masiyiwa, says an entrepreneur works in the condition, not on the condition. So we were able to work hard and buy investors into the vision that we work with at Green Pact, and able to roll out our systems across Kenya. So we are currently based in Nairobi, Western Kenya, and coastal Kenya. And it's through this that, this whole concept of a community dawned on me personally. Because apart from, leading people who are much older than me, there's this concept of, I usually call it the circular concept. So I usually compare community being something that's circular, that there's nothing that you put in a community that will ever go to waste. But then, this process of whole giving back, it's a very flawed system, I'd say. The reason I'm saying this is we usually expect that the well-off should be leading this, but it's supposed to be you who's supposed to be leading this giving back. It's supposed to be me who's supposed to be leading this giving back. Using your most valuable asset, which is time. And definitely, I must admit that one of my guilty pleasures is, contributing my time and little resources that I may have to a cause that I care for. And this leads to me now sharing the story of how I started Camp Buni. So as you might know, Buni is Swahili word for innovate. And Camp Buni is about how a bunch of youth is creating a platform for youth aged 13 to 18 to learn more about design thinking. How do you think about a problem? For example, if I walk around and see something that's wrong, how will I think about it? How will my thought process go about solving this specific problem? And so that's what we do with Kampuni. And it's one thing identifying a broken education system, which is the easy thing, and then there is one thing that's the other thing, now trying to solve for the education system, which is what we are doing, using a dynamic curriculum, trying to teach youth who are just like us and giving them more of an enabling platform so that they're able to do much, much more. And so today I'm not here to hand over the baton, because it's still my race. But today I'm here to extend this rope to you and my fellow youth, so that we can draw the future that we want to see and act on it, and not just for us, but it's for future generations. Because one thing I usually stress on is that compound interest is king. So there's this Swahili saying that goes, hakiba, haba na haba hujaza kibaba. So So a small effort which small effort which do today, tomorrow, and the other day definitely begs to a very big pull, which is what I think we should embrace, and especially when we are gathered here, most of the frustrations that we have is that, oh yes, the government is not doing X and Y, but then change does not start with the government. It starts with us. It starts with us doing what we can. So the energy that we get from this convening and the workshops and the plenary sessions, it's about us being able to convert that energy to what we can be able to do. And I'm very confident that come 10 years down the line, I'm very sure I'll recognize some of the faces who will be leading not just political change, but change in the socio-economic aspect here. Asanteni.